With new policies and deals under the current administration, let's take a zooming out look here from a global perspective. We're happy to have on sociologist and German historian Rainer Zitelmann to discuss his book, The Origins of Poverty and Wealth, and what makes for an economically prosperous country. Rainer Zitelmann, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
The White House recently issued a new statement defining foreign adversaries, including China, Cuba, Iran, Russia, as well as Venezuela. This seems to draw a sharp line between democratic nations and socialist, communist, authoritarian regimes. What's the bigger global significance of this defining?
You know, I think Donald Trump was right now to stop with most of this US aid. Of course, there are some aid for humanitarian issues, but you don't have to confuse it. I think you have to distinguish between three different things. The first are ideology-driven aid. For example, gender opera in Colombia or something like this, or a transgender comic book in Peru. Or the millions and millions are spent for this ideology-driven projects. I think it helps no one to escape poverty. Then there are humanitarian issues of this. For example, if there's an earthquake or natural disaster, I think it's good to help these people. But this is not what is meant by development aid. Development aid means that you support other countries with money to escape poverty, to become developed. And this doesn't work. You know, I proved it in several books based on a lot of scientific study that maybe it's a good intention, but it does not work. There's not a single example of a country that escaped poverty through development aid.
Now, your book,
yes,
The Origins of Poverty and Wealth, explores some really big economic issues and themes. Could you sort of break down some of the key takeaways and how they connect to today's global financial landscape?
Yes. First of all, I visited in 20 months 30 countries all over the world. I've been in Asia, like Korea, Mongolia, a lot of Asian countries. I've been in a lot of Latin American countries, the United States, of course, 60 European countries, to find out what makes countries poor and what rich. And in the end, it's very simple. It sounds very simple, but it is true what I saw there. It's economic freedom. What makes the difference? I give you one example. I was in Nepal, for example. You know, Nepal is a country between India and China. It's the second poorest country in Asia after Afghanistan. They are so poor. Why is that? Because strong government. Almost everything is forbidden. You can't make a profit more than 20% on any good. If you do it, you got problems with the government. Even you can go to prison, and they have long lists. What is forbidden? You can't invest there. You can't do that. You can't do that. They see investors, especially foreign investors, as enemies. So on the opposite, and this is what I saw all over the world, that if there is economic freedom, there is prosperity. And if there is too much government regulation, there's poverty. So exactly the opposite what socialists tell us. Socialists tell us capitalism is responsible for hunger and poverty. But it's a lie. You know, 200 years ago, before capitalism, 90% of the worldwide population lived in extreme poverty. 90%, 90. Today it's less than 9%. And even in the 80s, more than 40% lived in poverty. And I traveled all around the world. And I saw countries like South Korea, for example. It's amazing when you go there. They have this huge shopping centers and everything's great. In the 60s, they were as poor as the poorest African countries. So this is what free market reforms, what capitalism can do. Biden made the same mistake at Obama as in Europe, to go more and more in the direction of a planned economy. And of course, this hurts every economy. And so This is good with Trump. I hope he will make more deregulation, lowering taxes more, because this will even make the United States give you more prosperity as it works all around the world. And more government means more poverty in the end. It sounds very simple, but I spent this 2 years in all of these countries. This is what I saw everywhere.
Rainer Zitelmann, really appreciate your insights. Thank you.